Welcome to Lincoln Park. It's a fancy restaurant. It is not only food and booze paired, and I shouldn't really use the word booze because we're talking really nice top-level drinks, but it's also paired with live music. Lincoln Park is the name of the place, and it is one of the premier specialty restaurants on board Star of the Seas.
Yes, we're very lucky to be in the Lincoln Park Supper Club. I know a lot of journalists have tried to break their way in here, but we've been very lucky to have this as our venue. And as David said, this is not only a dining venue, it's an entertainment venue. We're going to talk about the entertainment on Star of the Seas because that is a central pillar of what goes on here. And we're joined by a special guest.
Tell us who you are.
Hello guys, so my name's Alicia, I'm all the way from the United Kingdom. So I'm an entertainment activity staff here on the beautiful Star of the Seas, and I've been with Royal Caribbean for 3 years now.
The ship, we're pre-launch. So what did you do for the previous 3 years?
So the previous 3 years, so I've done a few ships. My first contract was Brilliance of the Seas, so I started on quite a small ship. After that I went to Wonder of the Seas, and then Oasis of the Seas. Yes, Oasis of the Seas. And then I done the startup for Icon of the Seas, obviously, which is the first Icon class. After that, I went to Anthem of the Seas, and now here on the beautiful Star of the Seas. So that has been my journey for the past 3 years with Royal.
So how long before you do all 28 or 29 ships?
Oh, we'll have to see. I would hopefully like to say one day that I have done all of the Royal Caribbean ships.
So tell us what you do here.
So my role again is the entertainment activity staff. So our job role, so we host daily trivias, we host game shows, we do dance parties, dance classes. We always do the sail away on day one. It's really about bringing all the activities and the entertainment for the guests every single day, every single minute of every single day.
Let's go back to when you were a kid. Were you the young girl in school or at home who would put on plays, who would be singing?
With me, I'm a dancer. I absolutely love to dance. From a young age, I was always watching YouTube videos of dancing, and I'm really into that entertainment background. So growing up as a kid, I know I always wanted to do something about working overseas, whether it be hotels, whether it be cruise ships. And from there, I actually went to college and I studied travel and tourism. Yes, and then after that, I was a travel agent. So I was actually selling cruises. I was selling cruises, selling package holidays. And I really did want to get out of the office job and into the entertainment and activities industry. So then I did apply for a job in Greece. And I was an activity staff there in Greece for 9 months. And then after that, I really did want to make my way over to cruise ships. So that's when I looked at the different cruise ships online. Royal Caribbean came up. I applied for it. 3 years later, I'm here.
Say this is my first cruise with Royal Caribbean and I'm looking for something to do in the evening. What would you recommend on Star of the Seas?
Wow. There's actually so much to choose from. So we have all the way from Ice Show, where obviously they perform amazing dances, flips on the ice. We have an aqua show where it's combined of dancers, synchronized swimmers and diving. And we also have Back to the Future show, which is obviously the Broadway, West End, Back to the Future theatre show. Not only that, shows, we also have loads of game shows. So we have things such as Perfect Couple. So we also have adult game shows and family game shows. So Perfect Couple, Quest, we have things like Finish That Lyric, 60 Seconds or Less, and obviously every single night family karaoke as well. But that's only just some of the game shows that we do. Obviously we have a lot more as well. We also do like Name That Tunes and trivias, Name That Tune 90s, Name That Tune 70s. Including in that as well, we also do loads of theme night parties. Here, especially on Star of the Seas, we have a dance party called Let's Dance. We do that on the promenade, so to get everybody involved, it's absolutely amazing. And we also have one called Millennium Mania, which we actually done last night, again on the promenade, which is all of the 2000s babies. So there is literally something for everybody.
This might sound like a weird question, but is there sort of too much? You know, somebody comes on for a 7-night sailing and you get a booklet, or you may have already got it in an email, and you think, I don't know where to start because there's so much entertainment.
I wouldn't say there's too much. We just like to offer something for everybody, because obviously cruises, you've got different nationalities, you know, everyone's not going to be into the same thing. So we like to offer something for everybody, because we're families, obviously we've got all different ages. Again, we like to offer something for absolutely everybody. There is a lot to do, but I think it's better to have more things to do rather than not enough things to do.
You mentioned the perfect couple thing. It's a little no secret, but when David and I first went cruising with our families, they didn't want to take part, so we took part as a perfect couple, and we won.
You won?
We won.
Yeah. There were, they probably thought we were a couple. We've got our own families at home. But yeah, amongst the things that we had to do which was the worst? The balloon?
The balloon. You had to burst balloons without...
Balloon popping between your bodies.
He jumped on top of me while I had it on my lap. I still walk with a pronounced limp, but...
That's one of the favourites, that one.
Yeah.
When they see the balloons coming out, everyone's like, yes!
But we got a bottle of bubbly out of it. It was a lot of fun.
See, there you go.
So, Star of the Seas is the joint largest ship in the world. There is room probably to do lots of things. Is this the first ship that has 2 escape rooms?
Yeah, so this is the first ship that has 2 separate escape rooms. So the one escape room is a diner escape room experience where we take you back to the 1950s and you need to try and find, actually I'm not going to spoil it for you. And then we also have the record store escape room where we take you back to the 80s. And the reason because of that, the 50s and the 80s, obviously, because we have Back to the Future. So that's why they based one in the 50s and one in the 80s.
I've just got this idea of an escape room where you've got the same track, music track. I don't know, like, what was it that a-ha sang? Take On Me. You've got Take On Me just playing for 60 minutes and you're going crazy, you know, let me get out of here.
It's an encouragement to get out quicker.
It is an encouragement to get out, but it's so much fun. I've been doing it now for the past few days, watching you know, groups go in and they are having a lot of fun in there.
So part of your job title mentions the escape rooms, but you've also got the responsibility of working in so many others. Have you got a favourite?
For me, because I love dancing, I do love the dance parties. Yeah, so on the night, we do, obviously on this ship it's Let's Dance and Millennium Mania, but all throughout Royal Caribbean we do like 70s, 80s, there is a lot of theme nights. And because it's one of the big events of the cruise as well, obviously a lot of people get there, we get a lot of feedback, a lot of energy, and it's just a really good time.
When the ship is in port, what do you do?
Depending on your schedule, really. So we do get time off. Obviously, when we have time off, we can do whatever we want. We can either stay on board. Some people like to maybe sleep, you know, or get their laundry done. Other people like to get out. They can obviously, again, depending on which port we're in, maybe go shopping or sunbathe, go to the beach, go to a restaurant, have some food. Because obviously, you know, we like to get out as well. We don't like to just stay on the ship. So we like to explore, and it's honestly one of the best ways to go and see different places, definitely.
How often do you go home?
So my contract, or the entertainment activities team contract, they're usually 7 months approximately, give or take. And then after, when that's finished, we go home for approximately 2 months. So when I'm at home, or when people are at home, obviously we spend time with our friends, our families, and then we will go on our next ship, our next contract.
Are you going to stay on Star of the Seas, or are you waiting for the next new ship and you're going to keep moving from ship to ship?
Oh, that's a good question. So I'm actually here till February. So we will get our contract like a couple of months, usually a couple of months before we leave here. So we'll have to see what's in store. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind going on the new, we have Legend of the Seas coming out, which is doing Europe at the start, so that would be pretty amazing. But yeah, honestly, I like all Royal Caribbean ships. I love just traveling anywhere, to be honest. It's one of the best ways to see the world and to travel all around the world.
I've got 2 questions for you, and since you're into trivia,
Yes.
right, I'm going to give you a choice.
Okay.
You can either choose question A or question B.
Question A or question B? Let's go for question B.
Oh, the other one would have been
no.
much more fun. Okay, this is my standard question that I ask people when they've got a nameplate that says, ask me anything. My question is always, can you name the capital of the Comoros Islands?
Oh, can I name the capital of the Comoros Islands?
Beep, beep.
How long do I have to think about
beep,
this?
Beep, beep,
Would
beep.
you like to use your Google?
That would be great.
Yeah.
I heard this yesterday and I still don't remember it.
You don't remember what I said?
No. I don't listen to you, David.
Mark remembers absolutely everything. Moroni is the answer.
Moroni.
Yeah.
Write that one down for the next trivia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's a really
That's
nice-
going in my trivia now.
And now I'll ask question A.
I was
'cause
going to
that's
say,
much more
I want to
fun.
know question
Yeah.
A now.
What about office romances? Like below decks?
Okay.
Does it I think that's the type of thing that a lot of people want to know. Or maybe a lot of people don't even think about that. They just think it's a waiter, it's an entertainment person, it's a chef, and they don't go there. So
Yeah, no, it definitely happens. We do actually have a lot of married people on board. Obviously, they have families back at home. They come on here, obviously earn money. They can even get a cabin together as well. But, you know, crew members are on here for a long time, 6-7 months. Definitely office romances happen. It is allowed. So, yeah, the answer to the question is it definitely does happen. There's no specific, it doesn't matter what job title you have. Everybody, if they want to, can have an office romance. So, yeah.
And then play perfect couple.
And then play perfect couple and win the bottle of bubbly, yes.
Alicia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
joining
having
us.
me.
If you're coming onto Star of the Seas, then look out for Alicia. She's a bundle of laughs. We've met some of your other colleagues. It is such a pleasure meeting an entire crew that are so smiley, so happy, and so invested in the work that they do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So far on this cruise on Star of the Seas, we've been to see the fabulous Seoul ice skating experience, and that was truly amazing. Not just the skating and the athletic ability, but the choreography, the lighting. And last night we went to see Talk through its final rehearsal, seeing divers, people bouncing on ropes, just really amazing stuff.
When you're sailing Royal Caribbean, you really get very, very high quality performers. These are people who've been on Broadway, they're people who've been in the Olympics. You're getting top end people who've taken that career and decided we're going to bring it onto the seas. So the shows are top rate. But it's not just about the shows.
No, as well as the top-rate athletes, there are top-rate theatre shows. We've seen Grease, I think, on a previous sailing. Hopefully we'll be seeing Back to the Future while we're on this cruise. But there is top-rate comedy as well. And we have a special guest with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Tony. I'm the Comedy Club supervisor here on board Star of the Seas.
So tell us a little about yourself and how you ended up here.
Well, my family, we're seafarers, so we all work in the cruise industry. So my dad worked for cruise lines, my mom worked for cruise lines. They actually met on board Royal Caribbean International. So without Royal, I wouldn't even be here.
Which ship did they meet on?
Song of Norway?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Song of Norway would be the ship.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so did you grow up on a ship?
I grew up cruising. I spent probably I would come for about 3 weeks at a time. But after I came into the world, Mom kind of put her seafarer legs away and Dad stayed aboard.
Were you born on land at least?
I was born on land. I was born in Miami.
I'm so glad you didn't ask if he was conceived on land.
I was thinking about that, but this is comedy rather than insults.
So what did your parents do? What were their jobs? Were they involved in comedy?
No, they weren't involved in comedy. My mom used to be a cruise program administrator, and my dad was actually a cruise director for a long time. For 25 years, he was a cruise director.
So not just cruising, but entertainment.
Entertaining, yeah.
So how did you start with the Royal Caribbean?
Well, I have a musical theater background, so when I was growing up in school, I used to do all kinds of musical theater, radio, the news team, all kinds of stuff like that. And I always wanted to go into entertainment. I just didn't know what the outlet was going to be, whether it was going to be cruise ships, whether it was going to be Broadway. I was going to go to musical theater college, and right before that, I went on a cruise, and I was like, I think that I would be good at that. So I auditioned for college, and then after that, right before I was about to go, I went on one final cruise. And then I decided, you know what, I think this is what I want to do with my life. So instead of going to college, I went straight into the entertainment business here at Royal Caribbean, and I've been doing it for 3 years, and I have zero regrets, and I'm going to continue to keep on going.
So talk us through those 3 years. First of all, what ship did you start on?
I started on Independence of the Seas. It was a 3 and 4 day cruise out of Port Canaveral, so it was right after the Royal Restart I came in. And right after that, I did one full contract there. And then I requested to go to Wonder of the Seas, which at the time was the biggest ship in the world. And I did a full contract there. And then I said, you know what, let me challenge myself again. So they were taking applications for Utopia of the Seas. So last year I opened Utopia of the Seas. I did 3 months there. And then luckily enough, I was actually chosen to go to Icon of the Seas to be Comedy Club supervisor there. And then I said, you know what, let's get challenged again. So I applied for Star of the Seas, and now I'm here doing Comedy Club here.
Did you start on comedy?
No, I didn't. So comedy is a newer position. The position originally launched on Icon, and they are slowly rolling it through the different ships that have comedy clubs on board. So Oasis class and above have it. Right now, Icon has it, Allure has it, and Star has it. They're the only 3 in the fleet to have it. So it's a new position. It's original to Icon class and only some of the Oasis class at the time.
So what does a comedy club supervisor do?
So for me, I set the venue every single night. I seat the venue. So our goal is to have it as similar to a comedy club on land as possible. So we want it to feel like a club in Vegas. We want to feel it like a club in New York. We want it to feel that way. So when we're making it feel that way, we want to make sure it stays the same. So if we have the person come in and out, a different person every single night, it's never going to feel the same. It's never going to look the same. So the goal is to keep it the same. The comedy shows are the same. They all go the same. So we have different comics every single week. So here on Icon class, we're lucky enough to have 3 different comics every single week. So they usually stay about 2 weeks. Sometimes they stay a month. But the way it works is they come in and they're world-class performers. Some of them work in Vegas. Some of them work in New York. They're all around the world. We get all different kinds of comics from everywhere. So for me, the host position, I host the shows, so I set the venue, but I also introduce the comics as they come in. I tell them a little bit about themselves, and then I bring them up, I open the show, the comics go, and then I close the show, and that's all there is to it. We start. We usually have about 2 to 3 shows every single night, and it's usually about a 15-minute window to reset that venue. We get everybody out, and then we start bringing the next folks in.
So if you're up on stage, does that mean you also have to be a funny guy?
I would hope so, but yes, I would say so. I would say you gotta be able to pull them in and make sure that they're there. A lot of the time, when you're introducing that show, you have to make sure there's energy for it, because if you don't bring the energy, the first comic is going to be a little bit dead in the water because they're sitting there and they're not. You have to set the expectation level for the comic who's coming inside for this, because I think it's very important that you do set that expectation, because if you don't, the comic is going to have to build that expectation for themselves.
How does Star of the Seas find the comedians? Because do they have to appeal to an international audience, or are they mainly aimed at the American audience?
It depends where the ship is really located. For here, we usually, it's all English speaking comics. But it really depends on where the ship is located, whether it's in Europe. If we're in Europe, or we do have some Spanish-speaking comics as well. We have bilingual comics. But it really depends on where it is.
But is comedy international? So Mark is a funny guy. He's
Yeah.
actually done open mic stuff.
Okay.
But when Mark tells some of his jokes to Americans, they don't necessarily laugh the same way that the Brits do when he tells
No,
those
I
jokes.
think that's an international thing. People don't laugh in all languages.
When you're telling the jokes, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I would say it is an international thing, but you are completely correct. It does depend on where you're from. For example, like y'all are from over in the UK, right? So I might not find the same thing that you guys find funny. So we do have both, but it is mostly over here going to be our English-speaking comics from the States. And
Star of the Seas is a family experience.
correct.
Is the comedy a family experience, or is it aimed very much at the parents
It
and
is.
other adults?
It is 18 plus. It is adult comedy here aboard Star. We only have adult comedy on board.
Which means we're not going to be sharing any jokes on this podcast. But that having been said, the atmosphere that you're trying to create there is one of friendship, is one of connection, is one of making the audience feel part of the Royal Caribbean family.
Correct. Yes, sir.
I'm not going to ask you to tell a joke, because that's the worst thing you can ever do to someone who's fun. But tell us about the funniest thing maybe that's ever happened in the comedy club.
Ooh, so a lot of our comics are crowd work comics. So they come in and usually they talk to the front row, but there's a lot of funny things that has happened in the club. It's hard to choose just one. Sometimes when we come in, the comics are talking about whether it be something. A lot of the comics on board talk about cruise-related content. Due to it just resonates with the crowd because they're here, they understand. But there was one time we were having a show, and one of the comics was talking about the towel holding. If you've ever seen, a lot of people like to keep towels on top of the chairs, and they go away and they come back 15, 20 minutes later. And there was one lady on the far right-hand side, and her husband was sitting there, and there was another person, and he was like, he just threw his hand up. He was like, "Yep, I do that." He fully admitted to it. He was like, "I'm the towel holder," and the comic was just going at him for it. It was very funny.
I guess that's part of, the risk of being
in the
there.
front row.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever have open mic nights?
No, we don't have any open mic nights on
Too
board.
risky.
Too risky. It's too risky. Too risky.
So you said, and talking about risk, you said that a lot of the comedy revolves around cruise. Now, a company like Royal Caribbean is very much into its brand, into the fact that everything's pristine and right. And is there a risk that the comedian is going to cross a line that the execs aren't going to be too happy about?
I think that's where my position comes in a little bit, though. For every single night, I do write a report, so it depends. They can push the limits, but there definitely is a limit that they can push to. So if I feel as if maybe we dial it back just a little bit, I'm able to send it to my supervisor or the shoreside team supervisor team, and they can go in and look and be like, okay, is this okay, or should we dial it back? And they can go in and talk to the comic if they need.
So comedy is a nighttime thing.
Yes.
What do you do for the rest of your day?
During the day, I'm an entertainment activity staff. So I'll be hosting trivias, game shows. Sometimes I'll hop into the theme night dance parties. It really depends. I do a little bit of everything. Gangways, make sure just anything that is needed of me, I'm there to do it.
Trivia, David. I think Tony needs a question.
Oh, what, a different question or the
No,
same one?
the same question.
The same two questions?
Well,
or just one?
certainly B.
Okay, I'm going to ask you question B.
All right.
What is the capital of the Comoros Islands?
Oh, man.
Superb faces.
Yeah.
Your time starts now.
Oh, man. I have no idea. Geography was not my best.
So, Mark, do you remember, now you've heard the question twice,
I do remember.
what is the answer,
The
Mark?
answer is Moroni.
Moroni.
So I don't remember.
There you go. Anyway, meant to be a beautiful place. Tony, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and we look forward to seeing you around. And are we going to comedy tonight?
We're doing comedy
We're
tonight.
doing comedy tonight, and we're not going to sit on the front row.
All right. I'll see y'all there.
Reserve 2 seats for us on the
Very
front row.
good. Will do.
We'll be the hecklers.
All right.
Tony, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Appreciate it, guys.